So, what stood out about Chess Club when you evaluated other opportunities against us?
A few things that stand out, right, even today for me. A very well defined structure, both in terms of operations as well as the knowledge base that students take away from a chess club center, right? Students take away the structured and articulated knowledge base as they progress from one level to another, while a franchisee owner takes away a structured way of running, operating a business that is very well supported.
Hi, my name is Sahana Kulkarni, and we're back with one more podcast in the series Building Chess Club. Today we have Ajeet Nayak, who is our guest, and he has been with us for over 1 year now. He has 2 franchisees and a master franchisee. So come, let's know more about Ajeet and get to know about his experience being a part of Chess Club so far. Hi,
Hi,
Ajeet.
Sahana, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Ajeet. I have been in the IT industry for about 20 years now before I turned to a business person. And it's been an exciting journey so far. A year and a half plus now since I started working on Chess Club franchises.
Awesome. So, Ajit, 20 years in IT, right? That's a big time. That too from a company like Amazon. What made you take that leap of faith and that jump from a very, very comfortable and a very successful career in IT and do something like Chess Club?
A couple of things, actually, Sana. One aspect is we have one life, but that should not end up only in one career. So that's one thing that I always wanted to do. I was very happy with what I was doing. But at the same time, I also wanted to start something on my own. The second thing that drove this decision was to build legacy. Of course, with family involvement, in the sense I wanted to build something for my daughters that they can carry on in the long run. So these are two things that primarily defined on the path towards becoming a business person.
Okay. Was there a defining or a definite moment where you decided, okay, I can't do this job anymore. I really want to switch? Or was it a very natural move or a swift decision that made you progress from being an employed IT personnel to an entrepreneur?
So it was not a knee jerk kind of a decision. It was more of where I had reached in career in corporate, and either I move way ahead on that path or I push myself into a slightly non comfortable zone and then get started with something that is fresh, new, and exciting, right? So I love fresh starts. And it was just a decision at that point in time to say, okay, now is the time to do it. There's no particular reason or a trigger to it.
Okay. Awesome. So a lot of people, dream about starting something new, right? What gave you that confidence? Okay, I should really jump now and do something that's really, really different from what I'm doing currently.
The thought to jump and do something has been with me for a very long time.
Okay.
Even while I was 10 years into my career in IT, 10 to 20, and that's when maybe around 22 years of IT career, that's when I started thinking deeply that now is the time, right? So the thought of being a business person has always been with me. The willingness or wanting to jump out and do something was always there. I think I was just looking for the right time, and 2024 is when that time was.
Okay. What was your biggest fear before starting out something like this?
The biggest fear was, will I make it work? Will it work? Will I be able to support my family with the lifestyle that we all lived, as an IT professional in Bangalore, right? So that was always there at the back of my mind.
Awesome. So, looking back, do you think staying in IT would have been a safer choice or a riskier one in the long run?
It would have been a riskier one, specifically because when you are a business person, there's ample risks,
Correct.
right? But you have the control to navigate through them independently, right? That's different from a corporate life where there could be different risks which you have no control over.
Right.
So both have risks, but I feel continuing would have been riskier for me because there are so many external factors that influence.
Yeah.
While in case of business, there are internal and external and so many factors, but you are the single driver to navigate through those,
Right.
which means it gives you all the control to find your solution.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel this is a lot less riskier.
Okay. Awesome. So, a few questions about Chess Club, right? Out of all the opportunities available out there, right? Why did you choose Chess Club specifically?
Chess Club was love at first sight.
Okay.
My daughters learned chess at the first chess club center, Banerghatta Road, Begur Road Center.
Mhm.
And they taught me, they actually refreshed my memory about my limited chess knowledge. And I learned a little bit from them. So I not only learned or refreshed some of my chess knowledge while my daughters learned chess at the chess club center, but I also got a lot insights into how simple, structured, and a very supportive ecosystem chess club operated in.
Hmm.
So, like I said, chess club was love at first sight. After I made a decision to start looking at exploring business on my own, I looked at other opportunities, and that is when I zeroed down and I said that yes, this is what is the right path for me.
Okay. So, that was my next question. So, what stood out about Chess Club when you evaluated other opportunities against us?
A few things that stand out, right? Even today for me, um, a very well defined structure, both in terms of operations as well as the knowledge base that students take away from a chess club center, right? Students take away the structured and articulated knowledge base as they progress from one level to another, while a franchisee owner takes away a structured way of running, operating a business that is very well supported. So that is the edge that made me decide chess club over other opportunities that I was looking at.
Okay. Did you consider starting something on your own before switching into a franchisee,
Yes, I
like a
did.
chess club?
I
Okay.
did. And like I told you earlier, the aspiration to jump out was there long ago. So, right, through all those processes, I've been ideating many things, multiple things, right? And yes, there was always a thought: should I should do something on my own as against taking a franchisee and running it. I still have those ideas, aspirations, but what I really wanted to do is double down on what is already well defined and is a success story. So I would rather invest my time, money, and effort in something that has been put into great shape while I explore other things that I always wanted to do.
Perfect. Okay. What kind of support did you receive from Chess Club when you just got started, and even today, right?
Yeah.
Because one, two, three centers, and then now a master franchisee. There's a lot of investment that has gone in terms of money, in terms of time, and more so ever as a person, right? So it takes a lot of trust to put into a company which you have known for over a year now. So, what kind of support did you receive?
Starting from day one with the idea to start a franchise or a chess club center, to the point where I independently started operating a center on my own. It's been a journey which was always supported, handheld, till the time I think when Chess Club and of course Sahana, you felt that okay, he can operate on its own. So that kind of support, hand holding, is what really is a turning point for any business person who is new to setting up something on their own, right?
True.
So that's a very important factor for anybody to start at a franchise.
Perfect. Okay. You now route two most successful centers, right?
Okay.
I can vouch for that because I know the insights. So, what do you think you do differently than any other centers that could also be as good as you or at par with, in terms of both numbers, in terms of how beautiful your centers look, and of course the revenue per month also.
So, Sana, I will not call out what is different. I would rather call out what I consistently do. So, which is, I always factor in every suggestion, recommendation that the chess club support team provides to me towards not only building efficiency but also to grow the business. I evaluate every suggestion. Of course, as a business person, I evaluate it. I don't just go with it. I evaluate it. I always consider those suggestions. So that is something that has helped me. A lot of times, because 99 or maybe even all of the ideas that I get from the support team at Chess Club have helped me grow the business. The second thing that I consistently do is listen to feedback from all the roles that I interact with, which is the franchisor, the students, the staff, the parents, right? Everybody has their own set of challenges, set of improvements that you can do. Each one of those, when I really looked into deeper, they became opportunities for me for growth, right? And I have seen that translate over a period of time where I focus on feedback, I focus on anybody's challenges. It translates to growth for you because you fix those.
Perfect. And also, I see that you follow the SOPs to the T. You also you're the one who, uses our, or rather, exploit all the tools that we give you. So, yeah, kudos to you on that also, because they are made for your benefit. They're made for everybody's life to be very, very easy. So, what's your take on that? So, you said you did evaluate a couple of other franchisee options, right? What is so we also I remember you coming up to me and telling, okay, I have also explored a couple of other franchisees in chess, also in generally. Did you see these kind of tools, CRMs, student portals, and all of that in comparison?
Not the whole spectrum,
Okay.
right? Some only had curriculum, while some had parts of an LMS, right? Everybody did not have the full range that Chess Club offers. So that's an obvious no-brainer decision for me to go with Chess Club when I see every aspect has a certain tool set, SOP that I can follow. Especially very important for somebody who is new to starting business, right? So that's what stands out.
Awesome. Perfect. How long did it realistically take for you for your first center to break even?
Operationally,
Yes.
2 months,
Okay. And when did you get all your investment back?
18 months.
Perfect. Okay. And what surprised you the most about your business when you started?
What surprised me the most about my business? Yeah, this is an interesting one. So, what surprises me even today, right, is the fact that growth comes out of solving challenges,
Correct.
right? And I've heard this from multiple business personalities in the world, that growth only comes when you solve a problem,
Yeah.
right? And there are so many to solve, right? Whether it is any business, right? So the so that has always stood out for me. Um, I don't go hunting for problems, but when they do come to me, I try to find a solution. Not only myself, I go back to the chess club team, I discuss with them, and we try to find a solution, which definitely translates to good feedback from parents, good growth, good numbers, and consistency is the key.
Yeah. Agreed. Can someone without any chess background can start a franchisee?
Absolutely. I knew very little chess. Now a little more than what I knew when I started. To the fact that I sometimes even take classes for some very foundational levels at the center, and also monitor the practice sessions or at tournaments and things like that. But I don't really need to know as much to run the business, right?
Okay.
It's not mandatory. It's good to have.
Perfect. So if any of your chess coach
Hmm.
today comes and tells you or recommends you, let's go independent, or rather he wants or she wants to go independent, what is your take on that? Because they obviously have an upper hand already, right? So what's your take on that?
My suggestion to the individual would be, please go ahead, give it a try, right? Try to make it work, right? It's a great vision, right? And for whatever reasons you bump into a challenge which kind of like is a deterrent for you to move ahead, feel free to reconsider
Yeah,
and come back, and we'll help you,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, because most of the chess coaches are amazing coaches. They understand very little about the business, right? Manu is one of our coach who was teaching in Chess Club HSR, now has an amazing center in one of the parts like the North Bangalore, and is doing fantastic. I just spoke to him yesterday and he has about 34 students in just
Oh,
1 month with no business acumen in the past or any um or any support from the family as such, right? So such stories really inspire. So yeah, if any coach really wants to start, I think, do you think it is good to go independent or is it good to get associated with us? What's your take on that?
my take is associate with chess club, right? Because that's what I did. And even as a coach, if you know the subject, you can only enhance or build on top of what already is defined, right? So your growth trajectory is going to be a lot faster compared to anybody else,
Absolutely.
right? So I would still say go with chess club.
Okay. Awesome. So now some important questions. So most people struggle with business, right? Uh, with just starting off with 1 year. In 1 year, you scaled from one center to two centers and then three centers. And second year into the business, you already even have a master franchisee. So, what gave you that confidence to expand so rapidly?
Success at every step. Now, for me, Sana, success is not when you've made all the money that you've invested. Success is when you see a very clear path to reach that point.
True.
Right? You know for certain that A, B, and C time you will get there. When I see that vision very clear, that's enough for a business person to go ahead and further scale and expand. That's my belief, right? Because we have limited time,
True.
and limited time in whichever sense, the ecosystem, the network, or business, whatever it is, right? So when I see a trend that with enough data, which makes me believe that, oh yeah, this is making sense, this is working, I go ahead and find the next opportunity.
Makes sense.
Now that could be another center, or it could be a master franchisee, or could be anything else.
That's great. So that brings me to another question. So you had a center in Belga, right, which you had to close in between, and then you came back and opened another center in Subramanyapura,
Yeah.
right? So what was your major reason to do so? Because I know Belgaum was doing decently okay. It was not doing as well as JP Nagar. It was not a business failure.
Correct.
It was making money for itself. It was bringing in some bucks home, right? But still, you made the decision to sort of pivot to another center in Bangalore rather than staying in a tier two city. So, what made you do that?
So Belgaum was started in November 2024, right? We closed it in July 2025.
Right.
Somewhere around June, July 2025, or maybe a little earlier, May, I saw the results that JP Nagar could give me, right, in Bangalore. And I did a comparison with the results that Belgaum Center is giving me. Like you said, it was doing great, right, in its own in its own ecosystem, right? I wanted to do
2x.
Yes. So I wanted to move fast,
Okay.
right? Which is why I decided to move back to Bangalore and then accelerate.
Okay. Makes sense. So, did your second center grow faster than your first one?
In some aspects, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, they were pretty much equal. I mean, yeah, similar nature. But in some aspects, it grew faster. I'll tell you what those aspects were. The diversity in the different levels that we are teaching at a point in time was faster to achieve in Subramanyapura Center as compared to JP Nagar.
Got it. Yeah.
Right? Why? Because there was JP Nagar already supporting consistently in all of that. It was an enabler. JP Nagar became an enabler for my Subramanyapura Center.
Okay.
Right? While in terms of numbers, they were pretty much, I think, almost at the same rate.
Got it. So, at what point did you feel, okay, this is working for me? I want to go bigger on this. Want to take a bigger bet?
Again, that trend, right? JP Nagar did 100 students in December 2024. And Subramanyapura did 100 students in December 2025. Right?
Okay.
No, sorry. December 2025. Right. So when I saw those are key milestones for this particular business, because when we look at operational cost against, operationally being break even, that number 100 is kind
a
of
magical number.
Yeah, it's a number, right? It's a great number that you want to get to as quickly as possible.
Right.
And I think everybody who starts businesses look at some number. I think in case of Chess KLUB, everybody looks at the first 100.
Yeah, first 100.
Right.
Correct.
So when I saw that coming in, and that's when I started thinking deeper about what next. It took me a while to decide, but now is the right time.
Okay, awesome. So there's a common myth that I hear these days that Chess Club is only for beginners, right? But I know your center has produced a lot of rated players in just 1.5 years to 2 years into the business. So what kind of coaches do you have, and what is their rating, right? And what is your take when people say it is only for beginners?
So I'll answer the second question first. Right? So at the moment, at JP Nagar Center, we have 3 to 4 coaches. And there are a few who come part-time on an hourly basis. So we have somebody who is very senior, 1800 plus rated across all formats. Then we have somebody who is 1700, 1600, and then we have somebody junior, say around 1500 rated, and maybe somebody who's not yet rated, right? So each of these guys have a potential to take the students to where they really have reached. So there's no way for anybody to say that it's for beginners. 1800 is not beginners. 1700 is not beginners. Neither is 1600. Right. So it's a myth.
Okay. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about back before you started, right? You have a very, very, very successful family business, right? Many people would have chosen to join the family business against starting something on their own, specifically franchisee. They would have a lot of money and all of that to support anything that you get started with. So why did you choose a franchisee business over something which was already successful and running? Or rather, why did you choose not to have something of your own?
So I'll answer the not to have question, something of my own first. I chose the franchisee model because it's a calculated risk, right? I knew what I was doing, so my first bet goes there, right? Of course, because when I was starting, I wanted to take a calculated risk, but not something that is very, very unpredictable. Okay, so that's why the franchisee model. Now, does that answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other question about family business, right? It goes back to creating legacy. My parents created something for me, and they have given me an upbringing that enables me to take that to the next stage, right? I want to do the same for my daughters. Give them a legacy that their dad created. Of course, their grandparents also will in some way translate to their legacy eventually. But I wanted to create something that I can at some point in time hand over to my daughters.
Awesome. So that brings me to a very important point that you mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, right? You said the one of the risks that you were afraid of taking is if you start something like this, will you be able to sustain the same or a better lifestyle for your your family? Now it's just been 2 years, right? Do you think you're giving the same quality or a better quality of life to your kids and family and everybody back home, or has it been a struggle?
It's better quality
Okay.
in a lot of ways, right? With the amount of time that I spend with my family now, it's better quality. With the amount of time that I spend on myself to do what I like beyond business, which I definitely like, that's better quality life, right? Earlier, I would not say it was not there. It was there as well, but not as much. So when I look at those aspects, definitely better quality. I mean, when you ask me in terms of numbers or earnings or whatever, right? Initially, definitely it's a bit of a struggle because you're starting fresh. Like I told you, it was second stint for me.
Correct.
Right. So when you start a stint, obviously it takes a while for it to pick up. But once you know, once you see, like again, I'm going back to the same trend. Once you see a trend, there's no need to fear. Right. You just then find another freer, find another not so comfortable place, make it comfortable, and then just move on.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So, do you feel building your own venture gives different kind of satisfaction compared to, continuing the family legacy and the business?
Definitely does.
Okay.
Definitely does. Right. But at the same time, I'm not discouraging anybody from continuing the family
Absolutely.
legacy
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's the key that a lot of us maybe miss, right? Where um, do both is my suggestion, right? Because then continue to grow what somebody has started, and they have brought it to a great stage. Continue that, and you are the best person to do it.
Absolutely.
Right? But don't stop yourself from starting something new. You have the advantage to do it. You have the support system to do it. Right? Why not?
Got it. Okay. So, what has been your family's support and backing for doing something which is of your own?
My family has been very, very supportive. My whole family, my wife, kids, my parents, everybody in the family has been very, very supportive. Um, when we started, of course, they were concerned, right, on where it would take us. That's fine. Concern is absolutely okay. But there was always support.
I remember your wife wanting to start this business even before you wanted. So
I think we should have done that.
okay. So you recently became the master franchisee for the rest of Bangalore. So half of Bangalore centers will belong to you very, very soon.
So little more than half, I hope so.
So how does that feel?
Great. And I like those challenges that I foresee. Um, and I see a path.
Okay.
I definitely see a path. The one habit that I have, I just want to share, is I model everything that is not clear to me. Because I personally need that kind of clarity. I'm quite a bit of a attention to detail person. So I want to see the numbers. I want to see the projections. I want to see them in front of me. Right. And that kind of gives me a lot of confidence to drive towards them.
Got it.
Right. Because if I define what success looks like, and then you make that your target, it's a lot easier to achieve as against not knowing what to target.
Sure. So, what made you take that step, right? What made you take the decision of becoming a master franchisee?
Um, a lot of factors. I'll mention a few. One is the chess ecosystem itself growing in India. Not only people who are providing coaching and training, but also from the wins that we have had, India as a country, and we representing in multiple tournaments, multiple wins, right? That was one of the important factors. Second is the advent of technology, right? There is so much happening in that space. And I have seen Chess Club already. I don't know if I should say this, but already doing a lot of things that I have seen in the background. That's going to take us to the next level for sure. For me as a center owner, and I'm sure for the rest of the ecosystem as well. And third is, like I told you, I like to model everything. So I have a model that I feel I can set as a target, not only for myself as a master franchisee, but every one of the customers that I am potentially going to work with. I have a plan for them, for different types of people that I will work with who will come to open a center. I have a plan in mind. Of course, that plan might not work for everybody, but I will tweak it. But I have a base plan.
Okay.
So that makes me feel comfortable to venture into this journey.
Okay. How do you think is the role different from a master franchisee from a franchisee?
You are in a journey where you convince people not on a course, but you are convincing somebody to run a business. It's very different.
Okay.
It's about scale, right? For me, as an franchise master franchisee, it's about how do I scale from running independent centers to supporting maybe tens or I don't know, many of them, right? So that's definitely something that's exciting and filled with potentials along the way, right? It will also help us build a lot of network in this area or domain as well, right? So those are the things that stand out.
Okay. Awesome. So, what opportunity do you see in your region that others might be missing?
Every area that we are going to look at, North Bangalore, huge hub. um, I think there's only a very few centers there,
Yeah.
like maybe one,
Two
two
and
centers
two
in the
upcoming.
north.
Yes.
2 to 32, right? I think is possible really, really fast.
True.
Okay, because the kind of developments we have seen in that belt are tremendous, whether it is the infrastructure, proximity to airport, proximity to great schools, residential schools, residential areas, new upcoming residential areas, right? And very few centers of chess club at this point in time. So that's a big hub, right? South Bangalore, we already have a lot of successful centers here,
Yeah.
right? And there are still a few more that we should achieve, right, in areas that are yet to be explored. And those are the easy ones because the ecosystem already exists.
Correct.
Right, so it becomes easier for any person who wants to start here. It's you have data, right, that you can immediately start looking at and get started, and we will help them do that.
Perfect.
Right. And the other side, which is Vijay Nagar, Chandra layout,
Yeah.
Basveshwar Nagar, I think it's the West corridor.
West of Cord Road.
Yeah, West of Cord Road and that area is also a student built,
True.
right, and a residential area.
Yeah.
Right. So and we don't have centers there yet.
But
Maybe one.
Nagar we have one.
Yeah, we have one there, and there's a lot more potential there. Right. So yeah, those are the areas I will be focusing on.
Okay. Perfect. Sounds good. So, some of the myths that let's bust them, right? So, what are some of the myths that people have about starting a franchisee business that you would like to break?
Franchisees don't make money.
Okay.
Franchisees are only about a logo and a brand and some material and no support. Franchisees do not improve. Franchisees don't scale. All these are myths.
Yeah, I agree. McDonald's is an example. Okay. Do you think someone needs a huge capital to get started with Chess Club?
No.
Okay.
We are offering anything from a satellite center to a starter center to a standard center, right? And each one of these have the potential in their own capacity to break even, to become profitable, right? Yes, of course, we have to pick the right place. That due diligence is needed. So, no.
What would you say to someone who is interested but hesitant?
Jump.
Okay.
I would say if somebody who's interested and maybe hesitant because they've not seen the detail. They've not
Yeah.
seen the model. They've not seen how it works, right? So go talk to anybody, and then they'll tell you,
Yeah.
right? I'm happy to help anybody
Yeah.
who would want to just have a conversation without even signing up for anything. Just come and discuss and say, hey, how is this going to work? Is it going to work? Happy to help.
Yeah. I think in that way, we've been blessed with almost all our franchisee owners. Whenever, I really have someone who's a prospect, first thing that I do is don't ask me because I'm very biased, right?
Hmm.
As business owners, we are very, very biased of what we want everyone to hear. So instead of they listening to us, we always tend to send them, okay, go and talk to someone who's been doing this for some
Correct.
time, right? So yeah, I mean, whoever is hesitant, you should really talk and ask all the questions. Okay, some quick last few questions for you. If someone is watching this and is in the same position as you, uh, who you were like 2 years ago, what would you tell them?
Start now,
Okay.
right? Now is the time. Um, just like how I was a year and ago, um, s- still making a decision,
Mhm.
right? The decision making is a process. It doesn't happen overnight.
Mhm.
It takes time. It's always in the mind head, right? There is a switch that needs to happen at some point in time, and make that switch, right? Make that switch. There are opportunities available even today uh, at at Chess Club, where you can start, you can invest, and you can own a business,
Yeah,
right? While still going for a model where you don't actively operate.
true.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely possible,
Yes.
right? It's possible at Chess Club too.
Yes.
And if you're still thinking whether it works, but you're really interested, it's going to work, you're convinced, but you're still thinking whether I should do it or whether I can depend on somebody to do it, right? At least do the later,
True.
and then when you're ready, you can switch.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, do you believe this is the right time to get into chess club in particular?
Yes,
Okay.
it's definitely the right time to get into Chess Club, and also the right time to get into chess as an organized and a structured um, business opportunity, right? So both, definitely.
Okay. So, do you think you've got a best possible areas for your initial first two centers? Because I know today the most number of people who come to us, the major challenge that we are facing as franchisors is giving a particular area, right? Because south of Bangalore is all gone, it's all taken. There are very few areas remaining. So do you think you had the first mover advantage because you started uh, in the first year of we starting the franchisee business?
To some extent, yes, right? Um, and there are a lot of areas where you can still get that opportunity.
Yeah.
A huge number of them, right? But at the same time, right? Do you always have to have that first mover advantage? Not necessarily. Um, when you start a business of any nature, you build around that,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You bring that customer to you, right? You create that, um, not create a demand, but you attract that demand towards you, right? That's a very important skill for any business person,
Right.
right? So you great to have a first mover advantage, but if you don't have it, right, you can always attract the customers towards your center by providing the right set of services and capabilities, and build that ecosystem. It does not exist, build it.
True. Okay. One line or advice for franchisee owners for future.
um, remain persistent and give your business the time to grow, while consistently keep doing the defined set of things that any business should do. Follow recommendations that have been tried and tested, right? And listen. That's very important. I have seen this happen with me. The more I listen to my customers, my staff, my franchisor, the better are my chances to keep growing, right? So be at it, be consistent, be persistent, and slowly, gradually, you will get there. And there is one more thing that I just wanted to say, and I've read this somewhere and I've heard this from multiple people. Give your business 1,000 days,
Mm-hmm.
right? 365 days is not enough. Neither is 650 odd. Give it at least 1,000 days, right? Because your business has to move from forming, norming, performing. It takes that. There is a journey, right? You have give it, which is why generally, if you've seen 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, what it takes for businesses to break even operationally, everything else. So give it time. I mean, 1,000 days is just what I read somewhere, but give it time.
Okay.
Every business is different.
Awesome. Let's jump on to few rapid fire questions. So, business or job?
Business
Okay. Comfort zone or growth zone?
growth,
First center or second center?
both.
Okay. IT life or entrepreneur life?
Entrepreneur,
Salary or scalability?
scalability,
Okay. Safe play or bold move?
bold move,
Okay. Start early or wait for the right time?
start early,
Solo business or a franchisee model?
both,
Okay. Passion or profit?
both.
Okay. Risk or regret?
Risk,
Okay. One word for chess club.
excellent.
Okay. One word to define your journey so far.
Again, excellent, challenging. Many words are there.
Okay.
Excellent, challenging,
One word.
very exciting.
Okay. And biggest fear before starting? One word.
Losing,
Okay. Biggest surprise after starting?
it works.
Okay. One habit that changed your life?
Keep doing what works.
Okay. And your biggest strength as an entrepreneur?
My habit of attention to detail.
Okay. One mistake you learned from?
Unmistakable from um, not hiring the right team.
Okay. And advice to your younger self?
Start early.
Okay. Morning person or a night hustler?
Morning person.
If not chess club, then what?
Still chess club.
Okay. One reason people should start now.
Now is the time for, with the advent of technology and so much knowledge out there, right? People who want to get into business, there are multiple opportunities. Chess club is definitely one of them. But if you've always aspired to be a business person, you have all the support, the knowledge, the data to do it. There's no better time.
Right. Got it. So, one myth about franchisee business. I think I asked this question to you already.
Yeah, so it doesn't work.
Yeah. Define success in one line.
100 students.
Okay. Um, that's coming from someone who has 300 students. That's funny. Checkmate moment of your journey.
Checkmate moment of my journey. I think that was Sahana when the dates and the months for both the centers matched when it reached that magical number. They were the same month,
Yeah.
right? That was like, I mean,
Goosebumps.
I later thought about it and was like, wow, this is something
Okay.
that was magical for
Awesome. So when you're working, tea or coffee?
coffee.
Okay. All right. So I think that's a wrap.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I had wonderful time asking
Same
you all
here.
these questions.
Thank you so much, Sana.
Thank
It's
you.
great working with you.
Same here. All right. So thank you so much, Ajeet, and thank you to entire team of Chess Club JP Nagar and Subramanyapura for having carve a wonderful journey even for Chess Club. So for more interesting podcasts and meeting more of our franchisee owners, stay tuned to this channel. And if you want to know more about our franchisee business, what we have to offer for all our parents, please click on the link in the description. Thank you so much.